Why is it that I'm pretty much right the whole time with the video, the live stream of Mr. Metokur doing exactly what I said? And you could be saying, what am I talking about? I predicted that Metokur's stream will be him primarily talking about Minnesota and with the woman who clearly got murdered by the ICE agent. And I was correct. As usual, I'm right. He didn't really touch on the stuff outside of America. He was focused more in his home state. That's fine. I was trying to say that the other stuff, like outside of America and Venezuela, was more of an option. But I predicted that he would try to go after the people calling out his bullshit. Try and say, throw tomatoes and corn at them in chat. Throw corn and tomatoes, chat. And look at him. I predicted everything that was going to happen. He refused to read the critical the critical points that people were trying to point out. He showed the video. One thing I wasn't expecting him to show, but it's not really gory at all because you don't really see any blood or anything. But you see, he showed the video of her getting shot on both angles, and even he showed the video where she is clearly turning away from the ICE agent, not even touching her. But instead of dealing with it in a more rational way, like getting away from the vehicle, instead he shoots her in the fucking head. This is just bootlicking at this point. And even people, because I watched the archive, even people within the comments were saying, yeah, this guy has lost every bit of brain cells you could think of. I predicted everything. I predicted everything what was going to go happen to the entire stream. He shit on people who were critical about this shit, because most people agree that what happened to her was fucked up. And he said, well, look at the ratios on Twitter. You mean the site owned by the guy who lets pedophiles make AI images of young children? And also makes it where conservatives get more voices than a liberal voice? Or moderate? Don't give me that bullshit. This is complete cope from Metokur. And it just shows you how easily predictable he is. There wasn't really much to talk about, really. No, he wouldn't really talk about the stuff going on outside of, America with Iran and, Venezuela. He should have talked more about that, maybe more segment-wise. But he mostly talked about the fraud. Knowing that, fun fact, if you look up, 4 years ago, the state government was looking into the fraud of the COVID bill that made it where these Somalians, I'm putting that in quotes, because it can't be Somalians, but also wasn't Somalians also. A lot of people took advantage of the COVID subsidies. And you can say, well, why are they doing it? Well, because of the COVID subsidies. The fact is, if it was for the COVID lockdowns, which America shouldn't have locked down to destroy our economy, this wouldn't have happened to begin with. This was known. Why do you think Nick Shirley has stopped talking about it? And if he is talking about it, he's only talking about, say, I did this. And he's bitching about how the media has pointed out his fucking lies. And before he even did this, he was pro-Russia, pro-Trump, pro-Israel. He did everything that you would expect an asset would do. He's a propagandist, not a journalist. And yet all these fuckers keep thinking, well, he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about. He fucking lied to you. He lied to you, Jim. And then you gobbling up the shit that he's trying to talk about. Something that you could have looked in your own newspaper or on your local news, seeing that People were talking about this years ago. I even heard stories about this. Yes, this did happen 4 fucking years ago. Could it be happening still? Maybe. But all the shit that he looked into, Nick Shirley, it's old news. Almost half a decade old. And he tried to pretend this is a new thing. Bullshit, it's not. He's just a fucking grifting shill. Most likely paid by the FSB and the IDF. Which, by the way, Israel and Russia are close allies. That's a fun fact. So if you people are saying that Russia's good, well, you're pro-Zionist as well. See, well, how's that true? In Russia, you can't deny the Holocaust. There was also Israelis who joined the war in Ukraine, not them joining Ukraine, but joining Russia to quote-unquote stop the Nazis. You people are stupid. Like, he's went full fucking neocon fucking talking points bullshitter. And I predicted it. I predicted every single bit the stream would be. What the fuck happened to him? He used to have fun just talking about crazy people on the internet. He used to have a set of principles that would try to go after people. He refuses to talk about the Epstein files, saying that it's a fucking Democrat hoax. Believing every single thing that the mainstream conservative media talks about. And it's just infuriating. It's just infuriating. It's like you have no principles. I fucking knew when, as soon as that stream started, he's going to talk about money. He's going to talk about donos. Oh, give me the money. Give me the money. And then he calls out the people. Calling out, possibly en masse, because I guarantee a bunch of people who are getting fed up with this shit, got tired of it, and to say, fuck you. You are talking bullshit. Where's the actual story? We're having all bunch of other issues going on. Most people agree that what happened to that woman was fucked up. And oh, it's a threat. It's a fucking vehicle. Not even pointing towards him. You know, ICE agents have run over people. You know, they're walking across the street and they're trying to drive by him and they run him over. Are you saying that the population, the civilians who get run over by ICE agents should shoot them as well? That's what you're saying. So that means you could easily do the same thing to an ICE agent. You know, to say, oh, well, you tried to run me over, I'm going to shoot you. You know, stuff like that. That's what you're trying to say. And you people, the people who defend what happened to her, do I think she's a good person? Most likely not. But I think, does she deserve to have that be shot? No. Fuck no. This is just some bootlicking nonsense. It's like, what happened? It's crazy how the conservatives have turned for SJW, but on the conservative sphere. Using talking points, not using critical thinking, not questioning the leadership or the ideology that's trying to circumvent them, that they could have good ideas, but they're going to try to use them to try to use against them for talking points. That's what we're dealing with right now. The conservatives have went fucking woke. They have went full fucking woke. And it's even worse than the fucking SJWs. At least with the SJWs, if you know what you're doing, you could ignore them. You know, it's funny how all these conservatives have started saying we should have real ID and we should not be anonymous. You know, these ID laws, that digital ID nonsense, came from the conservatives. All the states in America, almost exclusively, are all conservative states are trying to pass these laws. Oh, you have to use an ID to watch YouTube, watch any video, watch pornography or stuff like that. All conservatives. Even in Britain, the people who voted for it was more in the Conservative Party. These conservatives don't want you to be anonymous. At least with the left, they understand why having an anonymous internet, it's better. Also, them trying to get rid of Section 230. Now, I do think Section 230 should be reformed. I do think if a website owner abuses Section 230, like the owner of Kiwi Farms, who uses a site just to dox people and kind of hint that, do everything off-site grounds, off the website so people could swat people, get people fired from their job, harass them. But I call that a reform, not a fucking removal of Section 230. Everything about the conservatives in general, they have lost the game. They have lost the game, and it's fucking pathetic. But as I said, I predicted what Jim was going to talk about. I predicted it. I knew he was going to go with these talking points. I knew he was going to not be critical one bit. He refuses to be critical. You can say, well, you've seen his Twitter. Not even with his Twitter, even the news stuff. I knew he was going to act this way. Even more so with him possibly not even talking about outside of America. I see that more as an option. Everything about it just shows you how predictable he is. It just shows you how much of an NPC he has become. His critical thinking skills, it's gone. Well, what? When he had a heart attack, was his heart stopped where he didn't get enough oxygen to his fucking brain? Now he just went fucking George Bush or something? I don't know. I don't know anymore. And it's fucking sad because he used to be more critical of this. He used to make fun of Charlie Kirk. He used to make fun of conservatives too. And now he's just going full-on rhino. Full-on rhino nonsense. And even with the good stuff that neocons have done recently with the fucking Venezuela shit, he didn't really talk much about it. Like, Jesus, why is it so easy to predict people now? How is it so easy now? Especially with him. I wouldn't think, it's it's like that old saying, you live long enough to become the villain. That's what's basically happened to Jim. He's gone full neocon. He's not using basic logic. He's not trying to be critical on both sides, which you should be. Even on people that you do agree with, you should be critical on them because you don't want to die on the hill of this. You don't want to die on the hill of defending a guy who shoots a woman. A single mom, I think. A mother. Someone that wouldn't have a gun. Someone that wouldn't cause any issues. Oh, well, she's spitting off of me. I should shoot him. The fuck is wrong with you? So they're going all down this hill. And if he does get away with it, in the scenario, he does get acquitted, I'm not going to complain when the riots happen. I'm not. People are already rioting in the street because of this bullshit. I was critical with George Floyd. Yes, I do think he should have been arrested. Do I think he should have had a knee stuck on his neck? Nah. He should just not put that on his neck. The fact is, cops are fucking assholes. And that's just a fact. Anyone bootlicking a cop, you're a bootlicker. Cops are known to be assholes. They are fucking known to be assholes and they don't give a shit. Especially the ICE agents. Trying to cover their faces up. Or just be dangerous. That's your job. Your job is meant to, identify yourself. How you know you're just a fake ICE officer? You could dress up as ICE and pretend you're an ICE officer. Even South Park is making fun of this shit. That tells you enough. They're making fun of all the conservative media. It's crazy how the conservatives have went 2000s neocon. And now the left, may come back and it may be even more radical. Because I do see hints of these fucking communists and actual communists. Not what Jim calls communists. Anyone who's critical of somebody getting shot in the fucking head. Like, you're gonna get what you fucking deserve. You're making another monster again. But that's all I have to say in this video. See ya.